What is that, you ask? Well, let's see. I believe we are facing the world. Brother, Oda, Roxy Syvduck, the one-liners, they're flying at an all-time high. Welcome back in, you guys. We got One Piece, chapter 1162, full spoilers. My name is Sai, and today we're here to have some fun with the freaking full summary. If you have not read the spoilers for yourself though yet, I will be linking it down in the pinned comment, as well as typing it out piece by piece so you can check it out there if that's all you want. Because here in this video, we're around to just have some fun talking about the damn chapter. So, getting right into it, the Yamato cover page journey. It's now over at volume 44. We know it's over because apparently it says the final spread. So, I've kind of already spoken my piece about how I feel about the Yamato cover page journey before. I'm not going to repeat myself. I thought it was a little bit lackluster. Loved Kozuki Moria, ulti page 1, that's great. But out of 44 volumes, I feel like we could have gotten a little bit more spice. But, like I said, I'm staying optimistic because I think that Oda didn't show us anything grand here because he's saving it for the future of the story. We'll probably leave Elbaf, we'll get an update, and then we'll see what's actually going on in Wano. With Kaido, with Big Mom, Cross Guild, and Blackbeard. There's so much Oda could tackle, so I want to stay hopeful. It's kind of like the Kaido flashback, right? A lot of people initially were underwhelmed by what we got from young Kaido, but the caveat was that we could get more of Kaido through Roxy Syvduck, or maybe through God Valley, and that's exactly what's happening today. So like I said, while it doesn't look good on paper, I am staying optimistic with Yamato's journey. So, on to the actual chapter. We kick things off with Shaki and Rayleigh. They're running back to the ship, and of course, pirates are trying to attack them. But that is when the Golden Lion Shiki comes in to save them. Shiki starts beating off the other pirates because he doesn't want anybody to potentially harm Shaki. Gotta love it. I do like seeing these side characters shine out. Because the thing with Shiki, I always say this, but with Shiki, we don't know where he's at current day. Is he alive? Is he dead? Will Oda ever bring him back into the story? We don't know. So I really do enjoy all these little moments we do get from him. But yes, it looks like the Roger Pirates are following Roger's orders from last chapter, and they are heading back to the ship ASAP. Now, the next thing we see is that Newgate is ordering all the other pirates who are not, after Shaki, to obtain the treasure here. And we see that after he says this, all the pirates around the island start fighting each other yet again. Crazy, brother. These pirates are lacking unity. We then cut over to Garp, and he has finally just realized that there are dead civilians here. He's realizing that something shady is going on. He calls up Sengoku angrily and asked him what is taking place on the island. Garp had no clue about the celestial dragon hunting games. That kind of makes sense. I feel like Garp, while he does still work for the Marines current day, I doubt he's exactly happy about what's going on here. So I'm kind of curious to see what that conversation is going to be like after God Valley, like him and Sengoku, him and Kong, him and the current fleet admiral, whoever that is, and then even him and Dragon, right? What is the takeaway for Garp after all of this? I hope we get more of that from Garp. So, going on to the next bullet point, we see Roxy Syvduck has finally made it to his wife and son. He's carrying them on his back, and they're being chased by Garling, other Knights of God, and demons. They're being chased by the whole kit and caboodle. We see that these demons are actually members of the Davy clan, including Roxy's dad and his grandmother. Dude, they're using his own family to fight against him. Right now, though, I am wondering, how did the Davy clan turn into demons? We know about Domi Reversi. We saw that back in Elbaf. But here's the thing. I'm going to skip ahead, and I could be wrong. Maybe the spoilers are painting the wrong picture here. But Imu isn't on the island yet, right? From the way the spoilers make it sounds like Imu only shows up at the very end. And if that's the case, then who was turning these guys into demons initially? Was it Garling, the other Knights of God? Not too sure. I am leaning towards this being just Emu. Like, Emu has been here this entire time, but we just don't see them until the end of the chapter, and that it's a wonky spoiler translation thing. But yeah, I think that is quite fascinating. So, we see that Rox has successfully hurt some of these guys, because he does say, damn it, are these people immortal? Which doesn't just extend to the God Knights, it goes as far as the Davy Clansmen as well. Because current day in Elbef, like I said, we see the Domi Reversied giants. And these giants, they do regenerate too. Brogy, for example, he got his arm blown off, or should I say his wrist blown off by Emu, yet Brogy, despite that, can still pick up an axe even though his hands are not attached. It looks like it's regenerating even. So yes, the regeneration ability possibly extends to even Rox's family now. Rox's wife Eris says, Zepek let me down. Rox's rebuttal is running is our only hope. Those who get caught by these people turn into that form. What is that exactly? Someone's power? Pops, Hag, what happened to all of you? That is when Rox's wife jumps off of his back and says, Zepek, kill! I am a proud member of the Davy clan. Everyone here was so kind to me despite my past as a pirate. Yes, that is right. Eris was once indeed a pirate, and not a weak one, mind you, because she says, if I was a woman who only knows how to cling to you, you wouldn't have fallen in love with me. Isn't that right? So Eris takes off on her own with Teach, and she says, if the situation looks like we're about to be captured, I will kill Teach and then myself. Let's survive the island, and afterwards I'll see you at Lelucia. That's tough. I like Eris. You know, Eris is not a pushover. I hope not, at least. She looks like she has that conviction, and I really respect it. I hope come next week that we see her fight. I hope she's like a Boa Hancock Shaki level fighter. I hope she's not just some throwaway. But since she is going off on her own, I expect the worst, though. Yeah, I just gotta say that outright. I do not think she is going to make it off this island successfully. I wouldn't be surprised if she gets Domi Reversied. Maybe I'll hold a poll on that later, but I do want to gauge your guys' opinions. What do you think happens to Eris? Because I could easily see her turning into a demon, and then Emu forces her to fight Rox. That could be Rox's one and only weakness. I do not think he's going to be able to kill his wife or his son if they get turned. But somebody that Rox can kill is the rest of his family, because they are after him. So of course, he says that if his family is going to kill him, then he has to kill them first. We see that he beats the Davy Clansmen, but, you know, caveat, they are regenerating to my knowledge. And of course, Garling, who is also chasing Rox and his wife, has been beaten as well. My boy, dude. Garling being off-screened. Sad day for the Knights of God fans. But that's just how it is, right? Rox is just too damn powerful. Of course, we could still see Garling show back up next chapter. The regeneration powers are kind of cracked. And this does seem like it is Rox's first time facing this power anyways. So, you know, coming around to like how to actually hurt them, that's not going to be a simple thing. So yeah, we got a lot of good stuff here. And now that is when we cut over to Linlin, who has just beaten Ivankov for the Azure Dragon Devil Fruit. She says that she wants to feed this to Katakuri. She says, Katakuri shall have this devil fruit. My crew will have tremendous power. But right before she ends off that sentence, Kaido performs a hit and run. All the memes of Kaido, you know, gobbling up fruit, you know, stealing devil fruits, eating everything he can. It's true. He does it here. Kaido shows up, hits her in the face with the Kanabo, eats the fruit, and then flies away. Kaido doesn't even have, I don't want to say the balls to stick around, but he knows that Big Mom's going to be upset, so he yeets out of there, dude. Or maybe he's just so happy he runs off in his dragon form. Either way, it is hilarious. I do really enjoy Kaido in this flashback because he feels like a kid, right? This is a very different Kaido than the one we saw at Onigashima. The drunk, depressed dragon, reminiscing on the good old days. Like, no, this is peak childhood fun Kaido right here, man. So we go over, and now we're at the end of the chapter where we get something insane. Imu is at God Valley through Saturn's body. See that, guys? I am wording things correctly here. Imu has arrived through Saturn's body. Saturn is now transformed into his Gyuki form. And get this, but Imu even appears on top of Saturn with their shadowy body. What the hell is going on here? At first, through the brief spoilers, I was under the assumption that Imu was possessing Saturn. Kind of like Gonko on Elbaf, right? But here, it looks like Imu is simply spawning himself out of Saturn? Or is he still possessing Saturn, but he's also spawning himself? This is one of those cases where I do need to see the chapter for myself. Kind of like what I said earlier about the Davy Klansman. There's a lot of things that I want to witness before I make any snap judgments, right? I always love to leave the door open. I can always be wrong. The spoilers can be slightly ajar. Things happen. But yes, Imu is spawning out of Saturn, and they're still silhouetted. Here's where I'm at right now. If we do not see what Imu looks like next week, while everybody's fighting Imu, then I will start to believe in the theory that Imu doesn't have a real body. That the silhouette we've been seeing is what they actually look like, which has been a theory, right? People have been saying, oh, Imu is literally a shadow. They literally are a silhouette. They're just a blackened person. I think that could be true. There's no way, right? Being silhouetted in a dark room, like on Marie's Raw, makes sense. Being silhouetted in the flower room, sure, Oda's playing coy. He wants to hide Imu. But here during the God Valley Battle Royale, if they're still silhouetted during all of this, I just think they're not real. I just think they have no real body. But yes, Imu is now here on top of Saturn, and we see that Rox is facing off against them. Alongside Rox, though, Whitebeard appears. Rox says, Newgate, there's nothing to gain from fighting this, Are you still going to help? And the Newgate, like I said, dude, the one-liners are popping off. Newgate says, don't sweat it. After all, I have been drinking on your tab, which is true, right? We saw that firsthand in the flashback. We saw that Whitebeard was like, put it on Rox's tab. And then even through Marco was like, yeah, Pops, he was a cheapskate. He always put his drinks on other people's tabs. It's a reoccurring thing, and Whitebeard finally addresses the line. And then, not just Whitebeard, but Kaido also appears in the final spread. Kaido, in his dragon form, joins Rox and Newgate. And Kaido is happy. Like I said, this is peak childhood Kaido. He says, hey guys, check this out, Wororo. I finally got an ability. I want to test it out. Dude, these Devil Fruit people, man, let me tell you. Kaido loves hockey, but I think he just might love Devil Fruits a little bit more. Maybe he eventually gets jaded of the ability. Maybe he knows that there's a limit to it. But God, Kaido eating his Devil Fruit is hilarious. Rock says, good for you, buddy. I think this is the happiest I have ever seen you. Newgate says, that's great and all, but can I ask you something, Rox? What the hell is that? While looking at Imu and Saturn. And then Rox says, what is it, you ask? It is what I believe to be the world. My God. Dude, the Battle Royale is just starting. A lot of people are jumping the gun. A lot of people are gooning out to this final spread saying, oh, Rox, Whitebeard, and Kaido, they're about to fight Imu. This is peak. Guys, buckle up. We're not even at the apex yet. You gotta remember, there's a lot of people here. I still think that Captain John, that Barbell, Gonzoi, Roger, and Garp, they're gonna show up too. Because at the end of the chapter, we see Garp and Roger also notice Emu's arrival. They notice the hockey, and they're all shocked by it. Roger says, "All hail the glorious days of adventure. I knew nothing." Roger's excited. Last chapter, Roger said, "Hey, we got Shacky. Get treasure. Let's go home." Roger's gonna turn around and make his way over here as soon as possible now that Emu's arrived. Yeah, the hype has just started, boys. And then Garp, he's worried. You know, Roger's happy, Garp is worried. And he says, okay, this all has to be a wild dream. What is going on with this island? Bro, yeah, we're gonna get more than just Rocks, Kaido, and Whitebeard confronting Emu. This is just the start. And then, of course, Big Mom, Big Mom, I think, will show back up. She's gonna be chasing Kaido down. Like, come on, Brat. Like, what do you mean you took my Azure Dragon Devil fruit? Whoa. Emu. How strong will they be? And another thing we have to keep in mind, even though Emu's shadowy figure has arrived here, this still might not be the true Emu, right? From what we've seen, Emu can possess people from afar. Like, the Emu that they could be fighting here might not even be 100% Emu. We could still see Emu back at the flower room doing this or something, right? Emu is a madman. If Emu performs well against everyone here, that'd be insane. I do hope, though, that since, Big Daddy Emu has arrived, I really hope that my boy Garling, the Knights of God, lock in. You know, Garling being off-screened pains the soul, right? I thought he was gonna be like a big bad villain. No, dude, Garling's being low-diffed. Mid-diffed, even. I don't know. Like I said, we have to see the chapter for ourselves yet. For all I know, maybe Rox is sweating a little bit. Like, oh, I just beat Garling, but oh, man, he was a tough cookie. I hope I get that, but we'll see. Yeah, like the Knights of God, brother, they just are not looking good. I put all my chips in the basket on these boys, and I get it, right? Sommers, kind of a bum. Love him, though, right? Sommers is a great guy. Maffey, great as well. But when it comes to fighting people who are not civilians, when they're not fighting women and children and non-combatants, they don't exactly have a lot of feats on the board yet. I'm looking forward to the day I can say, yes, Garling can beat this guy. Garling, of course! Because right now, it's tough, man. It's tough. So yeah, hopefully, when we get the chapter, Rox is at least bleeding a little bit. Maybe it's like a boo-boo on his shoulder, some Band-Aids on or something. Garling, come on! Get back up, brother! Maybe this is where Emu just gives them extra magic. But either way, guys, this is a hell of a chapter. Great stuff all the way around. Let me know who you guys are looking forward to seeing perform next chapter. Is it Garp? Is it Roger? Is it Syvduck? Gotta know. And of course, in the next couple of days, we will be coming back with a comment video. So if you want your comment read, make sure to leave it down there. Theories, opinions, jokes, we take them all! There is a break next week, so it might be more than a couple of days until I post that video. I'm gonna be a little bit lazy, but that's just how it is, guys. That's just how it is. Until then, though, you guys take care, peace out, and stay safe.